Hola, mi nombre Metal Matt, here from Cancun again, with another live sing-through where I'm singing some of my favourite songs that have made an impact on my life as a singer, songwriter, and as just a music fan. And Judas Priest, you should know by now, is my favourite band. I grew up on them. I love Judas Priest. I've met them all. Rob Halford's actually the one who gave me the name Metal Matt, so I wear that proudly and fly the flag for heavy metal. Yeah, I just love his vocal style. I love KK Downing's playing. To me, he's the best guitar player that's ever lived. He's the metal Hendrix. Fantastic player. I love how he feels the music, and he's a real rock star. How I want to see my rock stars. A real kind of legend, on the stage, and a really nice guy, good pal of mine. Since I interviewed him a few years ago, we've always stayed in touch, and it's really nice. Had a few beers with him not long ago before I headed over here to Mexico, and really great guy. Today, why not? I'm going to do a song by Judas Priest, of course. A song from the Turbo album, which I know is hit or miss with a lot of fans. Some people hated it, but the thing with Priest, they've always evolved, tried new things, and for the time it was kind of the right thing to do. All that hair and glam metal kind of come in. If you notice, they've always went with the times in a way. Painkiller, just as things were starting to get heavier, they did Painkiller. British Steel, they kind of defined that genre of heavy metal with the leather image, and the kind of riffs right out of Birmingham, with the steel mills and all that kind of stuff, and obviously as it evolved, Screaming for Vengeance, such a unique album. One of my favourites, really, probably my favourite Judas Priest album. Then they kind of went and tried something different with Nostradamus later on, and every album's unique, so I just love it. Turbo, like many of you, it's not really the album I'd go to immediately to listen to, but it's got some really great tracks on there, all fired up, and you got Private Property. It's more like anthems, I guess, kind of catchy anthems. And the Fuel for Life tour was a very cool tour from what I've seen. I wasn't alive to see it yet, but I've seen the videos, and it was cool. Rob's voice was singing. He was singing better than ever. Really, his clarity in his voice was great. And hitting flawless high notes. Less distorted kind of high notes, I guess, and just his voice less distorted on that tour, kind of appealing more to a kind of popish rock audience, I guess. When bands like Whitesnake and all these things were happening, they kind of fitted themselves in there, and obviously the hair was off the charts. We had KK with his big permed hairstyle, I think it was, and Rob with his kind of slicked back kind of mullet-y kind of look. It's all very different and cool for the times, a cool period, and the clothes were very glam and kind of unique. So yeah, great period that. My favourite look is that 82 Vengeance show though. I love that Memphis show where it's all the leather and the studs, and that's kind of how I like to see my Judas Priest. That's how as a fan, I just love that period. But this is a song, I'm kind of getting to the end of these live sing-throughs now, because this is kind of just where I'm singing from many different bands and artists who've inspired me and just had an impact on my life. But as we're kind of coming to an end in this series of live sing-throughs, I've got to end it with my favourite band, haven't I? And it's, like I say, the legendary Judas Priest. And this is a song where, it's always in the set list, even now. I think they're still including this song because it's one everybody loves, and it's just great driving song, great feel-good song, catchy. Rob's voice is great on it, and I just love singing it. It's a more kind of reserved song, but you kind of got to try and get all the nice tones in this song, the nice vocal tones. It's very clean kind of vocal style, and it's a song I always enjoy singing whenever I perform live. When I used to do my busking around Stroud and Bristol and places, this song's always one I had to do, and people would always throw the rock hands up, the metal fans, the people who knew, they'd look at me, throw the rock hand up when they saw me singing some Judas Priest and Turbo Lover. And that's what we're doing today. So let's get into this. Let's give this a go. And I got a tip jar in the comments. Like I say, see this as virtual busking. You know, us artists don't make much these days. All the platforms rip us off, you know, all these Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. You don't make peanuts with them. So, you know, I rely on the fans, the people like you who enjoy music, and I'm providing some live music for you. So, yeah, leave a tip if you can in the tip jar in the comments. That'd be much appreciated. And yeah, that's it really. Yeah, support the music, support the live music, just support artists these days, because we're all struggling away, but we love our art so much we just keep going, you know. So yeah, any support is much appreciated. I don't monetize the channel, so that's another good thing, you know. You're not getting many adverts unless it's other people putting adverts on. So, you know, I don't put any adverts on, so that's one good thing with this channel. So yeah, if you can support me in other ways like the tip jar, then do it if you can. And let's do this. Right, 1, 2, 3. Synthesizers roll. But you feel me without warning. Something's dawning. Listen, and within your senses, you know you're defenseless. Each other closer as we shift to overdrive, and everything goes rushing by with every another line. We move so fast it seems as though we take it to the skies. Love machines and holidays, we're the Enterprise. I'm your turbo lover. Yeah. brother, Metal Matt. Thank you. Enjoyed that one. Always a pleasure to sing that one. It's just fun all the way through, you know. It's just it's just great, you know. It's quite an interesting one vocally. It's you know, for I guess a casual onlooker, you'd think it's one of the easier songs to sing, but it's not particularly, you know. It's kind of, there's a lot of elements, and you know, I've met Rob Halford before, and you know, I told him once, I said, you know, what I love with you is you're so precise, you know, and he said, well, you gotta be, you know, and you know, he's right, you know, he's well aware of what he does, you know. Clearly he's you know, he's got such a precise pronunciation, you know, very kind of very eloquent way of kind of pronouncing, and you know, his diction as a vocalist, every word is very English and precise, and you know, it's great. You know, like he says, that's some good advice there, you know. You've got to be, you know, because that's, it's little things like that which can make a big difference, and everything in what you do as a musician, you know, try and be on your top form, I guess, as Rob always is. You know, he's so in tune with his singing, and you know, he knows just how to get the best expression out of every word, every little bit of his singing, the way he uses his voice, the way he switches between the kind of reinforced falsetto kind of stuff to the full voice, and you know, everything in between. He can just precisely work his voice to his best advantages and best ability. So yeah, you know, as a vocalist, he's a huge inspiration. I love the way he sings. You know, naturally I've kind of got a clean voice, so I like singing this kind of stuff, because kind of Rob's got a very clean voice, and then he's got a piercing scream voice, and he's also got a kind of more gruff rock kind of voice, you know. What does he do at the concerts? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. There's kind of good vocal warm-up then there. If anyone doesn't realise why he does that, it's very much a vocal warm-up, you know. It kind of warms up that yeah, 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 yeah. And it's all in the chest, very resonant in the chest, but with a kind of rock, you bring it through the grit. You take it all through that grit and kind of add some power to it, because you could do it clean, kind of like yeah, 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 which he does, I think. I think he switches between the two when he does that vocal thing on stage. Yeah, 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 which is harder to do. But with that grit, you can kind of get it all in the chest, you know? Yeah! And yeah, that's the thing with Rob. He's kind of got this metal voice. He's got all the elements of a beautiful singing voice, and then he's got the metal thing on top. And it's great, you know, if you really study what Rob does as a singer, it's really interesting. And I have, you know, from being a fan as a teenager to now.